SRB Media.
Good evening. Well, Speedway. Over the years, we've had our moans, we've had our gripes. We've all had a go at the BSPA at some point or another, or the SCB. But today's my birthday. So today, what I want to do is today what I want to do is to get everybody to talk about why they love Speedway, what's good about Speedway, why we should carry on watching it, and maybe share a story or two about how you saw your first match and what hooked you to Speedway in the first place. So, just for today, only on my birthday. Gents, how is everybody today?
Good evening, we're all fine.
Good.
What are you doing there? I thought we'd replaced you.
I know, yes. I thought you'd replace me as well.
Maybe somebody good.
Yeah, somebody.
I was getting ready to sit down in front of the laptop and watch it, and then suddenly realised I was on it.
So we had somebody on last week that knew what I was talking about. Made me look bad.
I realised you were here. Weren't you?
Oh. Right, well, we've got a few things, as I said on my little intro at the front. Let's try and keep things positive tonight and talk about some good stuff. What's going on at your team? Why you like Speedway? How did you first start watching it? And I'm going to put you on the spot now, Matt. First match, how did it all happen for you?
My first match, I think.
1928?
No, it's longer than that. It was, and it was 1990. I think it was Wolves Crawley. I think it was a draw.
Well, that's a good one to start.
I don't remember much about it. I don't really remember much about the first season. I can probably remember will be 92, but obviously got into Speedway primarily by my dad. So obviously with
the Birmingham connection, but that didn't work, did it?
Birmingham, of course, obviously weren't running then. So some great memories and some great memories for all the years. So personal milestone for me because this is my 30th season of watching Speedway. So
wow,
okay, I thought it was a lot older than that.
I did as well. I feel a bit older than that. So.
Yeah, but no comments.
I haven't enjoyed watching Wolves for 30 years, mind you.
Thank you very
I
much.
said Brian Ricketts and Roger Morrow.
Thank you very much. I've started doing my birthdays by the radiation laws now, Half-Life. So today I'm 30.5.
Oh, right.
Have we got the eggs and flour later on as well? So.
I mean, my first match, I knew nothing about what was happening. I came home from school. Yeah, I came home from school and had my dinner. I'm sitting in front of the telly. Crossroads was on. I'm thinking, oh God, not again.
Oh dear me.
And all of a sudden, my dad comes in. He says, "Get your coat." Why am I getting my coat? You'll see. Yeah. Get your coat.
I found you a job.
Yeah. And so off we went, and obviously we turned up at Perry Bar. I'd got no idea. I'd never seen Speedway before in my life.
This is the old Perry Bar across the road, I think,
yeah. Except we called it the new Perry Bar. Yeah. And I became aware it was that there were motorbikes revving up and warming up in the pits, and then they came out of the parade, and I thought, okay, well, why has he brought me to see this? And the first heat started, and my jaw hit the ground, and it hasn't picked up ever since, really. So,
what's the first match that you can properly remember?
The first match I can properly remember was against Crew Kings at Crew. So that's why I can remember it, because it was my first time I went to an away match.
It was a big track, wasn't it?
It was a massive track. But my biggest memory of that was Arthur Browning. He was gliding across this ploughed field. He didn't actually seem to ever touch the track. He was almost as if he was levitating.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, the first match I can remember, I think, would be the Premiership, Wolves Bradford '92. I think that's the first one I can really remember. Which is the equivalent of the football's Charity Shield, obviously league champions against the Knockout Cup winners from the previous season, and we managed to beat Bradford home and away in that one. So that's the first one I can remember. So
Jim Turrell says, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hope you can't hear me singing. Ben says, best thing about Speedway, the smell, the noise, the adrenaline, the people and friends we've made. But most of all, it's the most explosive sport in the world on its day.
I've got to say that that was always something really, really good about going to the practice on the opening right in March, wasn't it? You walk into the car park and you'd get that smell, wouldn't you? And
Which seems to have disappeared a little bit.
Yeah, and you hadn't had that for months, had you? So it was just nice to get your first fix. So
when in 2007, and we went to the press, I went to the press and practice for the Brummies opener. I'd forgot about that smell, and when it hit me, it was like I was a teenager again. It was really it's amazing how smells can do that to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we also mentioned that we've got Jason Garrity coming on the show. So if anybody's got any questions for Jason, put them up on the shout box and so on. In fact, Webby, why don't you tell everybody how they can take part? Why don't you tell everybody how they can take part? And start listening.
Sorry. So if you're on Facebook and you're listening to us, probably. If you're not, search on Facebook. Go to the top, search for UK Speedway Tavern, and you'll find us on all good Speedway pages and groups. Or alternatively, go to www.srbradio.com. There you go.
That really wasn't funny 2 years ago.
No.
Susan Jordan said 1971 Brummies versus Stoke. Terry Shearer favourite. Rider, ask your dad about him, Matt.
Fantastic, Terry Shearer. God, good God. Yeah, let's not make it an all our yesterdays. I mean, I love it, but
Can't you put it out in black and white, Webby? So, it'll be nice for this segment.
First GP I've seen was in 1999 when wildcard Martin Dugard won at Coventry.
I think that was 2000, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
So
okay, so
anyway,
we've now I've said that I don't want us to, we want to do all positive stuff today, but I think we'd be remiss not to talk about. We spent half of last week's show talking about Craig Cook.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have moved on a little bit since then, and there's been a 12-day ban for Craig Cook, also a 10-day ban for Klaus Vissing, and another rider who's gone out of my head at the moment. Somebody will put it up there for me. Thoughts?
Well, the incident, I mean, I think anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a great lover of Craig Cook, but I do think he was, I mean, what he did was wrong, but I don't think he was the main, it was completely the guilty party. I think there were other incidents in that as well. I don't think the flag marshal should have got involved in like that.
I think that's what we said last week. I understand from something I read today, I don't know whether this is factual, but I do believe that Eastbourne have taken some action with that flag marshal.
Well, rightly so as well. That's,
I don't know what, but there you go. We've got a couple of, sorry to interrupt you, but we've got a couple of, we're just going to keep it going. Speedway is a marvellous sport, says Jack Wright. Its fans are great, have watched it since 1963, and it has provided some of the most enjoyable times in my life. Riders are accessible and brave as can be. Watched actually at a stadium, the whole experience is magical. I think that's true. I don't think Tally does it justice.
Edward Kennett was the other rider, by the way. They got
Edward Kennett, that was it. Yes. Derek Turner, my first meeting, 1972 at Crewe. So that's probably the same meeting that I was talking about. Yeah. Although was Arthur Browning riding for us in 1972? I'm not sure he was actually. So it might have been a different meeting. Craig Smee, Speedway is in my blood. My dad took me to watch my Uncle John Smee ride for Bellevue Colts as a baby in '87 at the old Hyde Road. Sadly, too young to remember. Too young to remember it. Sadly, my uncle was unable to pursue a career in Speedway due to not having the finances, sponsorship to carry on. First meeting I remember watching was Bellevue versus Coventry in the early 90s at the old dog track.
Here we go.
Oh, who's this, Brian Buck?
I don't know.
Matt's first Speedway meeting was Birmingham versus Wimbledon in 1986 at Bordley Green.
Well, I don't really remember that, to be honest. I was probably about 3 then, so I was probably running around the terraces or something doing that.
Yeah, even so.
Like I do now.
Even so, you're now a turncoat. You're supporting. You should go with. Oh, It's terrible. Terrible. 1969 BLRC Hyde Road, been an Aces ever since. That was Jeff Daniels, by the way. Alan Atherton, 3 weeks old in 1978, also named after Alan Wilkinson.
Wilco, yeah.
Gosh, it's going to keep going and going, isn't it?
There's no 50.
Okay, well, we're not going to be able to read them all, I'm afraid. First match, this is Simon Corbett. First match went to Brandon Cove, Oxford, hated it, switched to Cradley in 1973. Person, the rest is history. Craig Smith, first GP I seen was in 1999 when Wildcard. We've already done that one. Yes, we've done that one. Barry Briggs won 1969 BLRC. And Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts. Spud. First meeting, can't remember the opposition, but it was 2013 at Wolves. I was going to Boys Brigade at the time, and our summer night out one week was Speedway. Went and got hooked on the smell and atmosphere the following week. I dropped out of Boys Brigade and been at Mondays ever since. That's funny, actually, because I had a whole season away from Perry Bar because my dad was a scoutmaster, and they moved to the same night, Monday nights.
Oh, yeah, all Birmingham to ride Mondays, didn't they?
Used to ride Mondays,
Wolves used to be Fridays back then. So.
That's right, and so I missed nearly a whole season, and I just used to sulk by the fire exit because I could hear the bikes going around the track. Next season, we went back to the Speedway. Right, I think we're going to let you get in touch with Jason because we've got that coming up, and then we'll continue this afterwards. Was you there on last Monday? Did you see the match last Monday at Perry Bar? I don't think you did you?
No, I wasn't, unfortunately. So you're going to tell me about it. So.
Yeah, it was a tidy old match, actually. I never really felt that the result was ever in danger. Apart from after the first heat, they got a 5-1 in the first heat. Not an ideal start. But I got to say, James Shanes has really, really come of age. He's really impressing me at the moment. And I don't think there's a rider that goes into the first corner as fast as he does, and then swings his back wheel round and puts the brakes on with it. It's.
Yeah, I think he deserved that scoreline, didn't he? Really, because he's been superb all season.
He has. He's got better and better, hasn't he? And
hasn't really got the points he deserved, I don't think. To be honest.
No. Well, for the effort that he's put in, that's for sure. That's for sure. But, okay, we're having a little bit of trouble getting hold.
Answer phone.
Okay, so we have an answer phone at the moment, but we will try and.
I'll finally get it.
We'll keep trying. So, we can talk a little bit about last night's meeting at Wolverhampton because that was on the telly. I watched that. I was quite impressed with the crowd.
Yeah,
jealous, if I'm honest.
It was a very good crowd, yes. And a good win for Wolves and puts us into the top four now. So, admittedly, probably racing wise, I think it got better as the night went on. Peterborough put up a bit of a fight.
There was a shower, wasn't there, before?
Yeah, there wasn't half. Yeah, so I was looking around at the crowds thinking, is this going to be all right?
Yeah,
but no, it was probably needed that, to be honest. The track was a little bit greasy. Peterborough, they made a bit of a fist of it early on, but I think really once Wolves pulled away, it was never really in doubt. So yeah, but another good win and a bit of a mini recovery. A nice way to bounce back from that losing in the last race at Swindon last Thursday. So
yes,
yeah.
But having said all of that, I mean, Wolves are coming on strong again.
Starting to. It's the right time. Peter Adams has always said this about the playoff in the playoff era, if you like, that it's this is the right time of the season to start peaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coventry did it, of course, famously in 2010 when they somewhat upset Matt Ford by beating Pools in the final. So
yes, and then Poole did the same to us.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
Let's not rake over the coals. So.
Well, I think we've all probably got stories like that. But yeah, I mean, you look at some of the should we call them top teams, they're starting to falter a little bit, with the possible exception of Poole, who, of course, they've done the same sort of thing, haven't they? They've come.
Yeah, well, Poole's still top at the moment, joint top with Ipswich on 36 points, then Bellevue 35, Wolves 29, Swindon 28, King's Lynn 22, Peterborough 17. So Peterborough beginning to fall away a little bit. King's Lynn, of course, Wolves are there at on Thursday. So
that's going to be an interesting match.
one.
That,
Yeah, it
isn't
needs to start getting some away wins really. But Kingsley, it's not great. Always been a great track for Wolves, but it is still. I think the top three for me are probably done and dusted now. It's that fourth spot which Wolves have got at the moment, but Swindon and Kingsley still within striking distance. So it's going to be an interesting last few weeks of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think the right result for Wolverhampton.
Yep.
Last night's the Swindon Bellevue meeting.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Swindon. I mean, I think at the beginning of the season we were all sort of saying, "Oh, well, that's the team, then, isn't it?"
Mm-hmm.
But
they haven't really kicked on.
They keep falling away, don't they?
Yeah, they made a lot of changes, haven't they? So, but we'll have a look at the other league tables as well because it's getting to that stage of the season where you start looking at run-ins and.
Okay, we've had a couple of questions coming up. Thomas says, "I keep asking this. I apologise. We haven't. It's the first time I've seen this question. So, what is the Lee Kilby situation at Birmingham? If he has gone, who has replaced him?" The short answer to that is I don't know.
Lee's still there, isn't he? I know he isn't there every week.
I haven't seen him there for a while.
Yeah,
I must admit, and it doesn't seem to be that. But obviously, he's got Swindon duties as well. So I don't know. But it is a question worth asking. So if Lawrence is out there, he might be able to.
I mean, he's been a breath of fresh air, hasn't he?
He's been brilliant. I mean, did you see that piece in the Speedway Star? The letter in the Speedway Star.
Yeah,
I thought that was brilliant. And, they've now put it out on social media, which
it's great publicity. That's exactly what Speedway needs to be doing.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. We're going back to the first meetings here. Brian Buck, my own first meeting was Birmingham versus Norwich in 1953. I was instantly hooked and still am. There's no cure. Dave Twine, my friends. Oh, he's disappeared. Come back, Dave.
There you go.
My friends like bikes, so we went down to the Old Perry Bar 1971, I think that was 191-71 on the opening night against Long Eaton, 39-39. Mel Shakespeare, who was one of my favourite riders at the time, got a 15-point max for Long Eaton. Great night, but we got there and back in a plastic pig. Long journey. Yes.
Just don't go round corners.
Don't go round corners. Go round corners straight on.
I'm trying to catch up with something relevant to what we've just been talking about.
Alan Atherton, one can argue with the bands Kennett, Vissing, Cook, Seymour. Can I see more? But Marshall instigated it.
I do agree with that.
Well, Alan messaged me as well to say that the fans the meeting was this week as well.
It was so last weekend, was it?
Yeah.
And I don't suppose we've heard anything about it, which is a shame. Duncan Pemberton. Oh, we go there. Positive, please, guys. What cheeses me off is the guy who stuck his face in Cook's, which in my view escalated what was before just a shoulder barge only. So has he been banned from the stadium? My guess is nope. My understanding is that Eastbourne have taken some action. I don't think people have been banned, but they might have been given some time off, shall we say, which I think is fair enough. I don't know whether that's just something I've read, so I've got no way of corroborating that.
I think Eastbourne have actually released a statement. I'll have a look and see if I can find it. So, whilst you're
Jeff Daniels, Josh Grozoznik, I can't never say his name, guest for Lynn Thursday night against Wolves. Also, no Lambert. Wolves stand a good chance of getting something there. What do you think?
Theoretically, yes, but given our perish for making hard work of a lot of things. You
see, you like me. I think it's a West Midlands trait. We spoke about.
Always think of the worst.
Brummies always think of the worst, and it's like I was watching the match against Eastbourne, and they got a 5-1 in the first heat, and there was a photographer standing next to me. I don't know whether he was an Eastbourne fan, but he certainly had a London accent. And he was sort of saying, what do you think's going to happen? And I said, they'll get a 5-1. The next heat, well, they'll probably get a 4-2 here. I was wrong on both of those occasions, by the way. And he was going, I'm just listening to you. He says, you don't think you don't rate your guys at all, do you? And I said, it's just that I'm a Brummie. We always look
Well, I've got
for the
it,
worst,
yeah.
and then enjoyed the.
Without-
Yeah.
I've got
It's
I've got Eastbourne's statement here, so I don't know whether you want me to have a
Yes,
a review there. This was
have a
released
go
today.
reading it if you can manage the 2-syllable words. It'll be
Right. As confirmed, the club has received notification of the Speedway Control Bureau's inquiry into the events during the Championship Shield semi-final with Glasgow Tigers on Saturday the 3rd of August. We have to abide by the decisions of the inquiry panel and will do so to protect the integrity and authority of the SCB to oversee the sport that we fully support. As previously announced, we believe, however, that the ban issued to Edward Kennedy is unfair, disproportionately in comparison to one of the other suspensions handed out, but Edward and the Eastbourne Eagles have decided to accept the sanction and to move on. We are aware that the evening in question has raised a huge amount of discussion and debate, fueled by various film clips of evidence and social media. We can confirm that we have fully cooperated with all requests from the SCB to supply any visual or anecdotal evidence that they required, including statements from all officials whose comments were requested. The vast majority of this film evidence has remained private between both clubs and the Speedway Control Bureau and will remain so. We were disappointed having made a conscientious decision not to make any public comment about the incidents that the SCB are investigating to read a full article by Craig Cook in the Speedway Star dated Thursday the 8th of August. With reference to the article, which was removed from Craig Cook's own personal website within a few hours of publication, we will be clear that we do not hold him in any way responsible for the publication of the interview, which would have been at the discretion of the editor of the magazine. We do, however, feel that this has led to an unbalanced and one-sided view of the incident. It is quite a long statement, to be fair, so I'll try. We'd also like to specifically respond to some issues that were not captured on film or video that impacted disproportionately the atmosphere leading up to the commencement of the meeting. We believe the following to be factually correct and corroborated of our own neutral supporters who were present, and also based on positive emails we received from sections of the Glasgow supporters who were in attendance, annoyed by the allegations that they were in any way intimidated or confronted. Glasgow and team and management expressed no concerns about the track prior to the arrival of the referee Seth Perkin to any official of Glasgow Speedway. It is actually quite a long story. It's an essay almost, so I won't read the whole lot out because we've got other things we want to cover. But that statement is on the Eastbourne website if anybody wants to go and have a look at it. So
we might see if we can put a link up. No.
Yeah.
We've just tried for Mr. Garrity again, and oh well, not to worry. These things happen.
Sorry.
Yeah, there was a couple of. That's where I wanted to read. I think I want. I'm not sure how to put this to you, Matt.
It's either good or bad.
yeah.
Hi guys, if Matt has another day off the show, get Kev Shepherd, the Isle of Wight's clerk of the course, to step in. Close your eyes and you wouldn't hear the difference.
All right. Okay.
Good bloke.
And Sean Simo Simpson, young lad, Boston Barracudas, too young to remember, probably 73-ish. He's too young to remember, he was 73. No one. Got back into 5 years ago when Son started on 125's, mascot for Peterborough years ago. Number 15, riding 500s in Young Lions and 250 grass, having a tough season.
Sean would have seen Michael Lee's first laps, wouldn't he? Because he started at Boston, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I think
yes,
so.
I remember that well. Oh, yes, we ought to talk about Danny Ayres. Absolutely gutted for Danny Ayres, ending his best season to date with an injury. Thoughts on the reserves for Cardiff? I've had my say on how disappointed I am, especially with Bomber being one. Curious of your thoughts. Okay, well, first thing to say about all of that is, I'm gutted for Danny Ayres. I was looking forward to seeing him tomorrow at Perry Bar. Mm-hmm. I've sort of changed my mind a lot about Danny Ayres. I sort of believed the hype about him not being a nice guy and everything, but then as I sort of he rode for our club and I met him, and I think it's a load of rubbish.
He's very passionate about the sport. He wants to carry on racing. Sorry, I've just jumped 60 foot in the air.
Yeah, me. I'm gutted that he won't be riding tomorrow. It makes our job a little bit easier, I think. But
get what's saying, Danny. So
that's that. And you've taken it away, so I can't answer the rest of it.
Go.
There we go. Thank you. No, he's still not there.
Oops. Okay.
Oh, you can't get the help, can you?
So many.
The reserves for Cardiff. Chris Harris
And Danny King.
Danny King.
Danny King, I can agree with because he's having a good season, but I'm not convinced about Bomber.
I don't understand the. I mean, there's a couple of good, young riders out there that they could have, whose names are escaping me at the moment. But and of course,
I mean, let's be realistic. Hopefully, they won't get a ride because if they do get a ride, it's going to be
although not necessarily injured,
or they're just the tapes or not beating the same minutes or. But the reality is that they're not going to be riding; they're just going to be there, standing in the pits watching. So
yeah, good experience for them, and that's the point, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
they don't. Bomber in particular doesn't need. He's been part of the GPs. It's not experience. Not an experience that. I would imagine he's probably thinking, I probably don't want to do it.
Well, I can see Bomber. The impression I get of Bomber is that he's not really a very good watcher of the sport if he's not involved. So, but yeah. So
yeah, I think it's a bit of a strange one for me.
I'm looking forward to.
But what we don't know, of course, I mean, let's add this caveat: we don't know whether the riders have been asked and they've said, "Well, no, I can't do it," or "I don't want to do it." That is a possibility, of course. So we don't know that. It's going to be great to see Charles Wright. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing how he does.
I thought rode quite well at Wolverhampton last night, by the way.
Yeah,
particularly that Heat 15.
It's probably not a track that suits Charles, to be fair, but I thought he was he battled hard when he was Peterborough's top scorer. So.
Paul Sullivan says, have you lads also spoken about Eastbourne Carnage the other night? I've only just tuned in. Hope you're both well. We're fine. Yes, we've spent 2 programmes talking about
Carnage and Eastbourne.
So. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing left to say, is there?
Yeah.
Let it peter out now. My 5-minute talk for my CSC English exam at school was Speedway. My head teacher was impressed that I had to do the talk at the Manchester Town Hall in front of the Lord Mayor.
Cool.
Wow. Can the members of the Graham... bit of personal Birmingham Speedway news here from Brian Buck. We'll read it out. Can the members of the Graham Warren Trophy Group please collect their voting slips from the supporters club desk in the bar tomorrow night? We need everyone's vote ASAP so that we can place the order for the trophy. There you go.
It'll be interesting one to see who wins that, actually, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I have. Well, obviously, I've made my mind up who I'm voting for.
Yeah.
Oh God, you all know I'm on the committee. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's only one winner, to be honest.
I
but
think there could be a couple of candidates myself. But
okay, we'll have a chat afterwards and see what you think. The NSSG meeting started last night. All looks very positive. Good. We like positive. Yeah. Lawrence Rogers wants me to remind you of the historic clash of the ladies tomorrow at Perry Bar. Rachel versus Seska, or is it Cheska? In Bulls versus Weimar.
Yeah, I believe the BBC are going to be there for it.
That'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Well, they came last time, didn't they?
Well, they did come last time. And what a great
so.
promotion by the club, by the way. So yeah, well done, guys. Okay, and is there anything more?
Pauline's here. Hello, Pauline.
Hello, Pauline.
Hi, Pauline.
Hey.
Alan Atherton, waffle.
Alan Atherton says, Dugard flamed it all by releasing the video on Twitter in the first place. I think there's something to be said for that. But and also the length of the video that didn't show everybody piling in at the end of it. It just showed one little bit. But yeah, look, it's happened. All punishments have been meted out now, so there's not a lot we can do about it, is there? Steve Morgan should have used 2 out of under-21 silver medal winning team for Cardiff reserves. That's not a bad, not a bad call, actually. Yeah, not a bad call. Apparently Cookie was asked but refused. That was
yes, it was. Yeah.
Oh, I say okay.
Down,
right.
So.
Okay. So that's sort of speaks to what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, I agree with Paul there. I think Danny King does deserve it, because he's had a very good season. So.
Obviously, Danny and Chris wanted another chance to soak up the atmosphere. I think Danny's open for a ride. You're right. Spud, good to see Charles and Carl Howarth have a good ding-dong battle on track with ultimate respect and room left for each other, especially after the punch-up down at Peterborough a few weeks back. punch up at Peterborough. I don't know anything about a punch up at Peterborough.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Answers on a postcard. I want to know more about that, please. But maybe next week. Positive vibes. So, yeah, I mean, talking positive vibes. Are we going to be doing our? I'm thinking about it.
Next week.
Today, next week. Okay, so everybody share the stream.
Yeah, we've got the league table to do as well.
Oh,
so.
we've got the league table. Yeah, we want to do it this week.
Well, we've got
as well.
9 fixtures to get through as well for next week, so we need to.
Okay.
We better start that about 20 to
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we'll start.
Have you noticed I've put the clock right?
Have you?
No, you haven't. It's fast.
Oh, for God's sake.
Right. Wendy Jane Barrett says surely it has to be Paco for the GW trophy.
Maybe not.
Well, I obviously can't comment on this because I have a voice, but I am interested in what people think. So, because there's nothing been decided yet. The GP reserves are offered on British final positions. Apparently, Cook turned it down, but in all honesty, King and Harris should be a bit embarrassed to deny kids the chance. Okay, I didn't know that it was done on British finals.
Yeah, I think it's been done like that for several years.
I know that the wild card. What are you doing?
I thought we set fireworks off behind us.
A bit of technical stuff in the background.
Wow. Yeah, warn us next time, please. Yeah. So, as talking positive, I was trying to say before, we've all moaned about what's wrong with Speedway.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that would go the furthest distance in putting things right? Have you got any thoughts on that?
Fairness.
Have you got any thoughts on that?
No.
Fairness.
I like that. Now you're going to have to expand.
Fairness in the rules. Fairness in,
I think clarity.
Clarity is the one thing. I mean, just not just saying we're going to do this. Why? Because we said so. We'll explain why. Which I think that's what frustrates so many fans, is because things are done and then they change and then there's no explanation.
No rhyme or reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you find out several weeks later because nobody's made an announcement about it or anything. It just seems to be like keeping people in the dark. So
I mean, let's look at this Craig Cook situation. I think that's been dealt with quite well.
Yeah.
I have to say. And why? Because there's been statements, there's been clarity. There's, as far as I can say, nothing particularly hidden.
No, not what I can see.
And so that people accept that. Well, I know some Glasgow fans don't necessarily agree with the ban, and I know some Eastbourne fans don't necessarily agree with the punishment meted out to Mr. Kennett, but you accept it just the same, So, yeah, clarity.
Nothing, the situation happens, so nothing can be done about it now. Just deal with it and then move on.
Cut down on time delays.
Cut down on time. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something. I'll be interested in your opinion on this actually, because I have a slight theory. I think Wolverhampton get through heats pretty quick. You had BT Sport there last night. Did that slow it down?
Not particularly.
So they got through it. Okay.
And that was one of the big annoyances when Sky used to go with Speedway.
Exactly.
The number of times that, I mean, that's primarily the reason why I stopped going to the British final when it was at Wolves, because it was finishing at about 11 o'clock at night. And when you've got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, it's you don't want to be out all that late and then travelling back. So, but I think they have worked harder to sort of get through meetings a lot quicker.
Is that happening at most tracks, do you think, now?
I think it seems to happen to Birmingham. I mean, Birmingham obviously have got the curfew, so they have to do it. I mean, Wolves' curfew was voluntary. I think most clubs have got voluntary curfew.
Well, we've always had that curfew, but we seem to be getting... And so it was like before we was coming up to that curfew with a 15-heat match. Yeah. But now we're getting 15 heats, we're getting a break, we're getting sometimes a demonstration race, and we're getting the Midland League.
The interval entertainment for the kids on the centre screen as well.
All of this is going, and we're still getting finished before 10 o'clock and having a chance for riders to come out and have a practice at the end as well. Yeah. It can be done.
It can be done. It's been shown that it can be done. So,
and it helps.
Yeah,
it really helps the flow of people's interest and the match, and just would help if we had TV coverage every week and BT were actually putting money into the sport. Sky used to show it almost every week and put a large sum of money in as well. BT don't have to do that because there's no battle for the TV rights.
Sometimes I wonder actually whether it would be better maybe just having a highlights package and then picking
I was actually
the best action.
Yeah, I mean, like the Premiership on BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows a wider interest in the sport, and doesn't it? And you can see the whole thing, and
rather than just having a lot of, I mean, to be fair, there's no guarantee that when BT turn up on a meeting, it's going to be a cracking meeting. Even at Bellevue, I mean, Bellevue is a fantastic track, but I've been to meetings there where there's been races that have been very, very processional. It happens.
Yeah, because if the rider the gates now it's in front is faster than the rider behind you, that's the end of the. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Why not ask the listeners their clubs and rider of the season thus far? I quite like that.
Mm-hmm.
So give us your club or clubs. And your rider of your season, you can start, Matt, and put you on the spot.
It's got to be Luke Becker for
I knew
Wolves.
you was going to say that.
He
looked really good. I mean, that number 2 position, by the way.
Yeah,
he's he looked good last night.
Yeah, Luke's a star in the making. I mean, I know he was very highly thought of before he came to the UK, but he's really made a big impression.
I think as far as Birmingham's concerned, that's a difficult one to say. I mean, I think for me there are 3 riders that could all claim that. Paco, of course, particularly for the way he started.
Paco's been a bit of a surprise package, hasn't he? Because I think a lot of people thought he wouldn't last.
I'd be honest.
But
James has just got better. We mentioned earlier, has just got better and better and better. But Mr. Garrity, all of a sudden, making a big impact and scoring.
I think I'd look more towards James and Paco because they've been there.
Well, there is that. Yeah,
and I've got to say as well, both great blokes in the pits. Certainly Paco, he's a real character from when I've
he's a cracker, isn't he?
So
it's a cracker.
Sometimes he says what he thinks as well, actually, I should say.
This is a good one here. Did you see the advertising on the building in Cardiff for the British GP? Then Speedway GP asking fans to take a selfie with it for a free ticket in a draw. Who's going to drive to Cardiff?
Go on, let's go then. Well, I've already got my ticket, so I've already got my ticket, so.
Well, first of all, I would imagine there's ways you could do that in Photoshop without actually going. So that's the first thing. But it's nice. It's an extra promotional thing for them. It doesn't really cost them anything. So why not? But maybe they should. We've got a brand new board outside Birmingham Speedway, haven't we? Perhaps we should do something like that. Might not be a bad little. Are you listening, Lawrence?
The gorilla.
Teresa Carmen says, I reckon no tacticals, but let teams choose gates when 6 down. No tacticals. I don't like no tacticals. It's one of the things I did not like about being in the National League was that no tacticals. I've always said, as you know, that tacticals should only be for the away side, and its stated aim should be for combating home track advantage. If you're not good enough to win at home, you're not good enough to win at home. So, and I would like to see 2 tacticals back as well. By the way, I think it might but I think you've got to have some form of tactical. You've got to have some form of tactical because it gives the fans something to talk about and argue about and give their opinions about. Why isn't he? And we've seen it at Birmingham a few times this year. People not agreeing with.
And at Wolves, I should say. As well,
yeah. Well, there you go. Rip the rule book up and start again with possibly the likes of Tony Steele and Jim Lawrence writing it with a member of the BSPA management and a supporter. It's 4 riders doing 4 laps, tactical subs, no restrictions, but everyone still has to have minimum of 3 rides. Make team managers actually manage.
Yeah, the rule book doesn't need to be. I mean, I don't know whether you've got a copy of the rule book, but I mean,
I did start to read it once, and my eyes just clouded over, and
it's
just half of the rules are about contradicting the other half of the rules.
So you decided to read War and Peace instead.
Yeah,
I mean, as Derek said there, I mean, it's a simple sport. It's 4 riders doing 4 laps.
Yeah,
the team that scores the most points wins the meeting.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never been to a full match, within 3 minutes you'll know that the object of the game is to get that little round thing in that little netty thing. You go to a Speedway.
That's a bit too technical for me.
If you go to a Speedway meeting, it's a few weeks before you realise that didn't actually happen. What you thought was going to happen.
I do like the idea of making team managers actually manage, because they used to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do quite as much as they used to. Obviously, there's more to team managing than just saying, "Well, we'll have a tactical sub here and wherever." I mean, there's other part. Let's be honest about it. Jeff Daniels, Bellevue stepped up on finishing early, all done by 9:15 on a regular basis. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, particularly if you're a weekday sport, finishing at 10 o'clock, that's not good for people
Especially when
with
you've got kids and you want to get them home and they're...
9:15 is more doable.
Yeah. Or if they get back home and they're tired and then the next morning they're irritable because they're tired, so it's... So.
I'd like to see the BSPA do live streaming for us to pay for. I think that might possibly. I think that there's things afoot to make that happen.
I think they are looking into that, I think. So.
Well, there are so
Wendy Jane Barrett, it's meant for Cardiff residents only, for goodness sake. She didn't say that for goodness sake, but that's what that exclamation mark seemed to say to me.
Right,
Craig Smee, I think the sport needs to attract investors and sponsorship, and it also needs to be shared to a wider audience through social media, TV adverts, local news, bulletins and radio shows. Right, well, let's examine all of those things. I can't because they've disappeared.
Okay, we've only got a couple of minutes because we need to crack on.
Okay, we'll just look at this and then we will crack on. Yes, it does need to attract investors and sponsorship, but a big question is how. I don't know how much investment that the league as a whole puts into that.
I still find it quite incredible that the top two leagues in this country are not sponsored.
And the third tier is?
And the third tier is. I just can't get my head around that.
It needs to be shared to a wider audience through social media. I do think that clubs are cottoning on to social media a lot more now.
Yeah. I think a lot of them in the past have sort of treated social media as a bit of an enemy, haven't they? But I think they've realised now that if used properly, it can be a pretty powerful tool. So.
Craig Smith says he's agreeing with you with the highlights package on terrestrial TV. Well, terrestrial TV would be
fantastic.
Would be brilliant.
I just can't see it happening. I'd love to be proved wrong, but
Channel 4 might do something. Might be interesting, something like that. Particularly a highlights program.
I thought you were going to say Channel 5 for a minute. So.
I hardly ever say Channel 5. Anyway, right. I suppose we better do this thing that we call our league.
Yep.
So, as you may or may not know, we do predictions every week on what's going to happen in the forthcoming matches. We add the points up and we have a league table, and this is what it looks like this week, and Webby's not on the top. He's still above us, though. I can't gloat too much.
Well, I'm catching up with him, actually. So.
I did see
that.
No,
I'm going backwards. It must be my age, you know.
Mr. Brian Books. Oh, he's 17th halfway.
Oh, he's climbing slowly. I'm not happy with this. Really not happy. Okay, so what league are we doing this week?
We are doing the championship, and we've got 9 matches, so we better
crack on.
Yeah.
And guys, put your predictions up, and we will. Well, I say we. By that I mean Matt. We'll take them down and collate the league table for us. I'm not sure he's not cheating, by the way he's climbing like that.
What?
I'm not sure he's not cheating, the way he's all of a sudden climbing up the table.
You're welcome to review my that's.
Come on then, let's go.
I did fail at GCSE maths, admittedly. But, anyway, so the first one is the match that we will be watching tomorrow. And that is Birmingham against Scunthorpe.
Okay, well, Webby's the highest of us, so he has to start.
Birmingham by 4.
Birmingham by 4. Oh, I'm going to say Birmingham by 12.
I've gone Birmingham by 10. And I should say as well, that was a cracking point that Birmingham got on.
Oh, yeah, we never mentioned that. Yeah. I mean, I was so gutted that I couldn't be there. And so happy when, I've never been happier for a draw in my life. I wanted to go there because I was saying to people at the match on last Wednesday, I thought we was going to do something against Scunthorpe. Yeah. I had this feeling about it, but couldn't be there. But well done, guys. Well done. Yep.
So the next one is Somerset against Edinburgh. That's tomorrow.
That's up to me, isn't it?
Yep.
That could be quite a tasty one. That could. I'm going to say Somerset by 4.
I've gone Somerset by 16.
Wow, okay.
And I'm not convinced about Edinburgh on the travels.
Right.
I'll go Somerset by 10.
Okay.
Put your scores up on the
Shout
on the
box
chat box and the chat room, guys, and we will collate them. Next one is Edinburgh against Eastbourne. I wouldn't fancy that trip from Eastbourne, to be honest.
It's up to you.
I've gone Edinburgh 47, Eastbourne 43, so 4-point win for the Monarchs.
4-point win for okay, and
Eastbourne by 4.
Eastbourne by 4. Eastbourne by 4. They've not won one single point
It's got to come.
all year away from home.
Now that he said it, it'll happen when it's
Yeah.
the things.
Edinburgh by 10.
Edinburgh by 10. Okay, the next one, this will be an interesting one on Friday as well. Glasgow against Sheffield. It's up to Webby, I think.
To you, Webbs.
Glasgow by 6.
It rather depends on who they've got in place of Craig Cook, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Glasgow by 4.
Okay, well, I've gone Glasgow by 10, so you and Robbie both giving Sheffield a point, so they won't get anything. Okay, the next one is Scunthorpe.
And no gloating next week if you're right.
No, I won't be gloating. I don't. What have I got to gloat about? I'm about 8th. At least I'm not 12. Scunthorpe against Redcar is the next one.
Scunthorpe, Redcar.
Is it me first?
I think it's me, isn't it?
Go on then.
I would have given Scunthorpe quite an easy win, but things have changed for them now a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah. And Redcar, I think, are dark horses to win it.
I'm going to say Redcar by 2.
I'll go.
No, it's not. You'll go.
I've gone. I've gone Redcar by 8.
Okay.
I'll go Redcar by 6.
Okie dokie. Next one is Berwick against Eastbourne.
Berwick against Eastbourne. I'm really rather hoping that Webb is going to choose Eastbourne to win this one. Mm-hmm. It's up to you. It isn't. It's up to Webby, isn't it?
It is, yep.
I'll go Berwick by 6.
Berwick by 6 as well. Actually,
I've gone Berwick by 10. Okay, so next one is Leicester against Glasgow. That'll be a good one. Top of the table clash.
Why am I getting this one? That's not fair. Wow. I
Let's not forget, of course, Glasgow without Craig Cook. So
it depends who they've got replaced.
Depends who they've got them in their obviously they've got.
It gives them a chance to choose somebody that's good at Leicester, I suppose.
Leicester v who is it? Sorry.
Glasgow. I'm going to say Leicester by 8.
Leicester by 8. Okay, I've gone Leicester by 10.
Okay.
Webby?
I'll go Leicester by 6.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, penultimate one, Newcastle against Eastbourne. So Eastbourne doing a bit of a northern tour this weekend.
Yeah. And I'll leave it up to you.
I've gone Eastbourne by 6 on that one.
Newcastle, Eastbourne.
Yeah.
Eastbourne are going to beat Newcastle. Interesting.
Yeah.
They'll be very excited at getting away. They'll be like, they'll know how we felt.
I'll go Newcastle by.
I'm going to Newcastle by 4.
You said 6, didn't you?
He did, yeah. And the last one?
And the last one, Sheffield against Glasgow.
Another tasty.
Mm-hmm. Some good matches coming up in the championship.
Absolutely. Who's this one to?
It's you, I believe, isn't it?
Oh, me again. No, it can't be me. It's got to be Webby. Because I did Leicester Glasgow.
Right, okay.
I'll go Sheffield by 4.
Sheffield by. I'm going to go for a draw.
Well, I'm gonna go for a draw as well in that one.
Interesting.
So everybody else put their scores up on the chat box in the chat, and we'll put them on. So
I'll leave them up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what you was doing?
Yeah.
I've spelled Leicester wrong, and now I have.
Did something right, wasn't it?
I noticed he's minimised the table this week. So
Yeah. No one's interested in it this week.
I think they're probably more interested in it this week than they've ever been. Right, so we'll have a look forward to Wolverhampton at Kings Lynn on Friday.
On Kings Lynn on Friday, and then at Bellevue on Monday, because of course Cradley in action at Monmouth.
What are you expecting?
Might be a good time to go to Kings Lynn.
Yeah,
get a point there. Hope maybe win. Bellevue is always going to be tough because it's not a track that Wolves tend to do very well at.
Neither is
Bellevue.
Kings Lynn.
Well, no track really away from home is fantastic for Wolves at the moment, apart from Peterborough it seems. But yeah, it'd be nice to pick up points in both meetings. Really.
How does Becker do at those sort of bigger tracks?
Well, Luke Becker is actually a big track rider,
Right.
which seems a lot of people think that's a bit strange for Americans because they're used to quite small tracks. But by his own admission, he says he's sort of tends to fare better on the bigger tracks. Although I think riding at Wolves every week has sort of helped him with the smaller tracks as well.
Okay, so you're expecting something at Kings Lynn, and you're not going to go to.
I would like to think we can pick up a win at Kings Lynn. Bearing in mind Kings Lynn are going to be under strength. Probably not at Bellevue though.
We've got comments about social media. Clubs like Birmingham are using social media, but the only people that see it are existing fans or likers. They need to go out and post to new media platforms. It's so easy, but they never do it. My understanding is that at Birmingham we've now appointed somebody to. I mean, I don't know about this stuff. I'm a bit at sea, if I'm honest. But I also think, as I've said before, that as fans with social media, we should take some responsibility and just keep sharing and liking, because I've got loads and loads of friends, honestly, that.
Yeah,
that don't know a thing about Speedway, for instance. So it goes out to people that way. But I didn't hear that. I'm just ignoring you.
Because I think you can always tell how popular a bloke is by the number of when he breaks his arm and the number of signatures on his cast.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Well, thank you.
Kings Lynn v Wolves is Thursday, not Friday. So
Thursday,
it's
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go then.
So
You gave me wrong information. It's your
I
fault.
did say Thursday.
No, you said Friday.
Did I?
You said it with the TH, but you said Friday. No, you just said Friday. I'm sure you did. Not to worry.
We can always go back and have a listen afterwards just to see. So.
Becker was impressive at the NSS last time, scoring 7 points and looked fast. He's, from what I remember right at the beginning of the season, he's much better out of the gate now.
Yes, yeah. I mean, his gating was a bit of a shocker at Bellevue, at Perry Bar on the opening night, but he's got better at that. So
he's there or there.
Admittedly, gating isn't something that's very important on riding in the American sport because of the handicap system, but no, he's improved on that.
Alan Atherton supporters need to do their bit too. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't. I wonder whether some of that is because, let's be honest, it's an ageing demographic in Speedway. So maybe we're not as clued in to those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think there is a bigger, younger audience at Perry Bar now than there was. 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, the work that's been put in is really beginning to show fruition, particularly in these summer months. It's very noticeable that the number of youngsters that are going onto the centre green, more and more each week, isn't it? So fingers crossed for that next week.
I say, I mean, if you want to experience proper speed, you need to watch a race from the centre green, because then you get an impression of how fast it actually is, especially at Perry Bar. So.
Yes, yeah. Perry Bar's a great track.
I'd love to watch a race from the centre green at Bellevue, but
yeah, but you wouldn't be able to see her. It's so big. You need binoculars. Luke Becker was good in the USA on Paris, which is a UK-sized track, says Lawrence Rogers. So, we still got still keep your predictions coming in. We've got loads of them coming at the moment. Matt did say Friday.
I did say Friday. I do apologise. So it's only one day out, in fairness, but
you'd have been very fed up if you'd turned around on Friday and said, "You've already lost, mate." See you next year.
I think Kingston would have been quite perplexed if they'd seen a load of Wolves fans congregating outside the turnstiles on Friday, wouldn't they?
No, Kingsley, they'd have still taken your money and then given you a ticket and say you can come to the next match. Okay, we've still lots and lots of
apologies
predictions.
regarding Jason. But
we haven't been able to get hold of him, so unfortunately.
Yeah, and we have tried.
Just on answer
something's probably happened, who knows?
Yep.
We haven't left him hanging on the phone.
Hello? He doesn't speak.
Alan Atherton says, us youngsters are sharing, well, 41-year-old anyway.
41, I've got a shirt on.
Yeah, I can smell it from here.
No, you haven't. No, you can't, because I took it off yesterday.
Okay. There we go. Okay, well, I guess it's time to wrap things up.
It sure is.
Would we have been able to fit Jason in?
Probably not.
Yeah, but well, I'm sure there's a good reason. I probably forgot, to be honest.
Yeah,
that happens.
Probably got a better offer.
Not difficult. Yeah, not difficult. Okay, well, thank you very much once again for taking part. We'll try with Jason again next week.
Yeah.
And we might even have somebody else next week as well. I'll have a word with Matt in a minute. So everybody take care and have a good match wherever you're going to this week, and no more injuries. Take care.
Good evening. Good night.
Goodbye.
Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA.